One room, a kitchen, a bed. That was the entire apartment. A teenage mother, a father barely out of his own childhood. A city that hold this family, nothing. Nobody in that room could have told you that the baby crying in the corner would grow up to embrace Lionel Messi on the World Cup final pitch 19 years later. Not as a fan, as his equal. But that's exactly what happened. This is the story of how a kid from the poorest corner of a Barcelona suburb became the most dangerous winger on planet Earth, and why the poverty was never the obstacle, it was the fuel. Forget the mansion, forget the private academy. Lamine Yamal's story doesn't start there. It starts in Rocafonda, a working class strip of Mataro, where nobody expects their kids to become world champions. His father, Monet, crossed over from Morocco as a boy. His mother, Sheila, arrived from Equatorial Guinea, two immigrant kids, barely out of their teens, who fell for each other in Barcelona and had a son before either of them was ready to be a parent. 3 years later, they split. Sheila took a job behind a fast food counter just to keep the lights on. For a while, the family lived somewhere even harder to imagine. A shared residence for young parents, a communal dining hall, food handed out like rationing. Yamal has said it himself, flatly, no self-pity in his voice. The kitchen and the bedroom were the same room. Now, hold that image, because everything that comes next, the trophies, the records, the 19 years old standing on a World Cup podium, grew directly out of that room. His grandmother, Fatima, left Morocco completely alone, chasing a better life for a family that hadn't even arrived yet. He calls her his queen. Ask him what shaped him, and he doesn't talk about a coach, he talks about her. This is the part the highlight reels always cut. The instability didn't slow him down, it lit a fuse. Barcelona scout found him at 6 years old at a local club called CF La Torreta. What they saw wasn't just a kid who was good for his age, it was a kid who was already a season ahead of the game itself. He was first tracked through La Masia, the same academy that built Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi, constantly thrown in against boys 4 years older, and here's the part that should have broken him. He didn't just survive it, he dominated it. He split his childhood between two cities, his mother's in Granola and his father's in Mataro, living out of two different lives just to keep both parents in the picture. By 15, the academy had run out of things to teach him. The first team was calling. Nobody expected what happened next. April 29, 2023. Camp Nou, Real Betis. A 15 years old kid steps off the bench and shatters a Barcelona record that has survived over 100 years. Youngest player ever to wear the first team shirt. That was the appetizer. Weeks later, youngest starter in La Liga history. The youngest Barca goal scorer since records began. Then at 16, he pulls on the Spain shirt for the first time and scores on his debut, becoming the youngest player to ever represent the senior national team. By the end of that first season, 50 appearances, 7 goals, and a stack of youngest ever records so long it reached like Barcelona rewrote their own history book in real time. And he was still a teenager who couldn't legally rent a car. Germany, summer 2024, the European Championship. 16 years old, and Yamal isn't a mascot on the bench. He is starting and creating more chances than any other player in the entire tournament. Then comes the semi-final, Spain against France. The score is tight, the pressure is unbearable, and Yamal, 16 years old, cuts in from the right and bends a shot into the top corner from outside the box. Youngest goal scorer in European Championship history, the goal that flipped the entire tournament on its head. Spain went on to England in the final, 16 years old, and Lamine Yamal was already an European champion, with the tournament's Best Young Player award sitting next to a trophy most professionals never touched in their entire history. 2024-2025, under a new manager, Hansi Flick, Yamal doesn't just improve, he explodes. 18 goals, 21 assists, Barcelona wins the domestic treble, La Liga, Copa del Rey, and Supercopa. The club first cleanest domestic sweep ever. October comes, the Ballon d'Or gala. Yamal walks away with the Copa trophy for the best player under 21, his second in a row. But the room is really waiting for one name, and it isn't his. A year earlier, he finished 8th for the main award. Now he's second, beaten only by Ousmane Dembele, whose PSG side had conquered Europe. One place higher, and he would have broken Ronaldo Nazario's record as the youngest Ballon d'Or winner in history. He didn't storm out, he didn't suck for the cameras, he congratulated Dembele, called it a great season, and went straight back to work. That reaction told you more about him than any record ever could. Summer 2026, North America, the World Cup. Yamal turns 19 the night before Spain faces France in the semi-final and gets exactly the birthday gift he asked for. New York, Spain vs Argentina. It goes to extra time. Spain wins 1-0. In that single moment, Yamal becomes the youngest player in history to win both a World Cup and an European Championship. No teenager had ever done both. Spain didn't lose a single match they started across either tournament. A perfect record on the two biggest stages in the sport. But the image everyone remembers isn't the trophy lift. It's Yamal wrapping his arms around Lionel Messi at the final whistle. The player he idolized as a kid in Rocafonda. The same kid who once slept in a room with a stove in it, standing on the same pitch as his hero at the exact moment the touch changed hands. Kids from Rocafonda aren't supposed to end up here. Yamal didn't get here despite the room with no space in it. He got here because of it. Because growing up with zero margin for error taught him early to waste nothing. He says he isn't finished. The Champions League, another World Cup, another Euros, he is 19 years old. Bet against him if you want. History says that's a mistake. Please hit the subscribe button for more amazing football stories like this.